Black Belt, the most notorious track Red Lynx has made so far in the trial series. During the course of this, make sure to pause the video on the checkpoints that you're really struggling with and want to perfect. Also check out Black Belt Practice on Track Central. You can skip ahead to any CP by using the bumper buttons like right bumper and R1. This is a project that I've been wanting to do for a long time to help out the ninja community. Another trials member by the name of Refined Notion has made other tutorials on orange, green, and blue belt. If you're interested in those tracks, I'll link them in the description. So on this first checkpoint, you want to stay lean forward going into this first climb. Angle your front wheel so it's above the wooden beam. When your back wheel reaches the top of that first beam, lean back and forth quickly to squish the corner. It'll allow your back wheel to snap to this platform, and as you're riding up, ease off the gas so you can maintain that vertical momentum. For the second part, this is another type of squish. Start on your back wheel, and as the front wheel drops, lean back and hop to catch the last wall with your front wheel, barely leaning over the top of it. Throughout the video, I'll show alternative methods to beating some of these checkpoints. On the first one, you can fender and slow climb it. And on the second part, you can just lean back and get a pretty good hop to clear that gap. On the first part of CP1, you can brake climb into the starting ramp and try to land back wheel first on the wall and slow climb it. The reasoning behind landing back wheel first is if you hit your front tire, you're likely to push yourself backwards. On this next section, use all of the platform to hit a massive endo hop. I like to pump the bike in the air to set up for the curved ramp. While on the curved ramp, you want to stay lean back so you can set yourself up for the bounce. On this last part of CP1, don't lean for a split second when both wheels are on this ramp. It allows your bike to ride up all of it. You're going to need a lot of momentum to hit the last jump. Lean back quickly and hop at the end of the ramp, and while you're in the air, pump the bike to give you that extra push and fat brake if your back wheel doesn't get enough height. The alternative methods for CP1 are you can endo climb the start and fender grab the final platform. However, I find fender grabbing that final platform very difficult. You have to land really high up on top of it. If your fender sticks out at all underneath the final piece, it will hit the bomb. CP2 is pretty simple at the start. Just get a decent endo hop, get on top of this box, and while you're riding up this ramp, lean forward about halfway through it. Once you get to this point, you want to get enough height to land around this area and stay lean forward holding gas. You have two options when you push off the wall, either flip back and land with both wheels, or you can land back wheel only. I find it really consistent when I land with both tires if I land with my front wheel first, and as you're climbing this, you can just hold lean back and brake. Once you're to this part on CP2, move as far back as you can on this ramp and stay lean forward. The goal is to hit the entirety of the next platform and get your back wheel up as quickly as possible since the set of bombs ahead are very close to the bounce. Again, I pump the bike in the air to give an extra boost. I recommend working on this technique so you can have excellent aerial control and set yourself up for success. The start to CP3 is pretty simple as well. You want to start by getting 2 back wheel bounces in a row, holding the brake down. Stationaries are a must for this checkpoint. Watch how I alternate between brake and gas. Let go of the brake slightly before you release gas, and as you release the brake, do a bunny hop. For the actual jump backwards, You want to make sure your bike is almost vertical, so your front tire is sticking up in the air, and you're just holding the brake down and getting a large hop. Climb to the top of this ramp and stay leaned back to set up for the back wheel bounce ahead. Once on top of this box, set up for an endo hop and try to drag your back wheel across the entirety of the box. At the start of CP4, hit the front wheel into the first ramp to get enough height. Lean back going over the bomb to bring the back wheel up. At this part, set up a squishy bed balancing on your back wheel. Release the brake, let the front wheel drop, and hop. Try to hit your back wheel first on the object above, and lean back to grip the side of the wooden beam. Try to lean forward as soon as your entire bike is on the platform. Here's the last squish before the final climb of CP4. Let your front wheel drop over the top of the beam and lean back to drag your tire across the top. Doing this allows you to get more horizontal distance for this jump. At the start of CP5, slowly roll into the first ramp with your back wheel only. As you hit it, do another quick burst of throttle and hop. When both wheels are off the ramp, start fapping brakes so you can raise the back wheel as quickly as possible. For the next section, endo hop and jump to a Spider-Man position where your front wheel lies on top of a 90-degree angle. From this spot, solo climb by letting your front wheel roll back. To finish off CP5, fender grab and flip your bike up so it's vertical. Switch hop in place by doing a bunny hop and holding the brake down at the same time. On the last endo hop, try to hit the back edge of the wooden pole. At the start of CP6, slide the very top of the first climb, staying lean forward and hit the brake just before the edge. When your front wheel hits the next platform, tap the brake, lean back, and release brakes so your front wheel rolls up the ramp. From here, let your back wheel roll back to the edge and drop the front wheel close to the ramp, but don't touch it. Accelerate at full speed and lean back when in the air. Lean forward right before you land at the bottom of this obstacle. As soon as you hit your back wheel, lean back and hop. The goal is to drag your wheel across the entire platform. On the final jump, aim to hit your back wheel on the bottom corner or side of the box and push off. Immediately hit brake once you push off, and fap if you need to bring the back wheel up. Alternatively, you could flip the fender on this first climb. There's an alternative way for this last part. Although it is extremely hard, you can save it from here. You must squish the jump by going as far back as you can on the wooden beam. When you jump, aim to hit your back wheel on the bottom corner or side of the box and push off. To finish the CP, immediately start fapping brake. In this scenario, I adjusted the positioning of my left hand so I could use both thumbs on the X button. The start of CP7 can be pretty tricky. What you want to do is perform an endo hop so you land in the center of this next obstacle. As you're landing, lean back to build up enough energy to brake bounce. Hold brake for a split second, lean forward, and give a burst of gas. You're aiming to hit your front wheel on the side or the corner of the ramp and roll the wheel up. As your back wheel leaves the bounce, immediately start fapping brake. Set yourself up at the end of this platform. Lean forward slightly and quickly endo hop. When you jump, lean back as fast as possible in the air to bring your back wheel up. This will help with avoiding the bomb. If you screw up the landing like I did, don't panic, you can fender grab this and balance yourself. To set up for the last back wheel bounce, lean forward and floor it. Alternatively, you can do a stationary hop on this checkpoint. However, I find it to be a lot more difficult. CP8 is probably the easiest checkpoint along with the starting checkpoint. It's very straightforward with the possibility to save faults. Squishy this gap by letting your front wheel drop over the top, leaning back, and pushing off the edge of the ramp to get more horizontal distance. The last section of CPA is where you can save a lot of faults. I ended up screwing up this part about 3 or 4 times before I actually got it. Get a decent endo hop to start this part. You can stop on the second box and save it from there, but I recommend doing this all in one go. At the start of CP9, try to land the back wheel on the lowest black line on the wall and push off as hard as you can at full throttle. Immediately after you push off, lean back and get ready to bounce off another wall, but this time it'll be in the opposite direction. Land with both wheels at the same time. Push off the wall using only the brake, and as soon as you leave the wall, lean back and pull the bike into the rider, which will help avoid the bomb. As you ride up this ramp, let the front wheel raise slightly. Just before your back wheel hits the corner of this box, lean back and absorb it. Quickly lean forward again once the back wheel clears the corner. For the last jump, slowly drop the front wheel so it almost touches the ground and gas it. As you're in the air, lean back to bring up the back wheel so you can land on the last platform easily. CP10 is arguably the hardest CP on this track, but don't lose hope. There is a way to consistently pass these obstacles. Set up a high endo so you can slam the back wheel into the ground, generating as much energy as possible. When you ride in the first ramp, don't lean forward the entire time. Sometimes your bike will lose speed because the front wheel is dragging. When your front wheel reaches the wall, lean forward, but only for a split second. This is an intricate part of this CP that needs to be highlighted. What I'm doing here is a half lean. As soon as my entire bike is on the wall, I release lean and barely flick the thumbstick to the left. What this does is help maintain speed and push my bike off the wall enough so I can slam the back wheel into the overhang above. I recommend training on the practice version of Black Belt in Track Central. Lean forward and hold brake as you hit the back wheel into the overhang. Start fapping immediately to bring the back wheel up. There's a lot of stuff going on in this checkpoint, so I'm going to slow it down one more time. From this point, get a high endo hop. Focus on landing back wheel first on the box in front of you. Land leaning forward, use a burst of speed, and slow climb into fender grab. If you don't think you're going to stick to the wall, flip back and try it again. It's not worth having to redo the overhang over and over again to get to this point. We have one more overhang to go. For this last part, I like to land with both wheels simultaneously and my rider lean forward. As you land, lean back so the front wheel pops up and slide the top of the overhang leaning forward. Hit brake near the edge and fap it up to conquer the most insane checkpoint Redlegs has ever concocted. Alternatively, you can get a big enough endo hop to land into a Spider-Man position. From the previous checkpoint, you can skip the box climb. We'll come back to it in a minute. Land near the center of the first bounce and carry your momentum up to the third platform lean forward. Squishy this jump, but in this case do a half lean since the ramp is very steep. If you lean back completely, you may slip and hit the engine. A box climb is a brake climb on a 90-degree wall that you cannot endo jump on top of. To climb these, slowly roll into the wall until you reach this position. Tap the brake, lean forward, then full gas it so your back wheel snaps to the wall. As you begin to climb it, ease off the gas. You can stop on this ramp if you don't get a good enough setup to do this all in one motion. Alternatively, for this last part, you can flip up from the fender grab and immediately climb at full speed. It helps to tap the brake right before your wheels hit the ramp so the bike doesn't bounce off. Thanks for watching, you guys. I really hope this helps you beat black belt and you learn a thing or two about some ninja techniques.